Hello everybody, my name is Godfrey, and today I'm going to be reading the new book that I got from my Uncle Gary from North Carolina. It's called Night at the Living Dummy 3, which I have already read, but I got it, but there's still more Slappy books I need to collect. I think I need, Goosebumps, Slappy's Wedding or something, and Slappy's Nightmare. That's all I need. And basically the movies be coming out. The Slappy that I seen, kind of weird. I like the old kind of Slappy. I don't like the movie Slappy. It looks fucking weird. But anyway, we're gonna open it and get reading. And the book is about, let's read the back before we begin reading. It's good if you get a new book like Bart from the library and the book you never read before, it's a good idea to read it back so you know what the book's about. When dummies speak, everybody listens. Tina Odell's dad used to have a ventriloquist act. That's why he has all those dummies in the act. He calls it his dummy museum. There's a dummy with freckles, and the one with sneer just like Ruggy. Trina and her brother Dan think the dummies are pretty cool, but now our voices in the attic, and dummies keep showing up in strange places. No wedding singers could be alive, right? So let's get reading. Night of the Living Dummy 3. Chapter 1. The stairs up to my attic are narrow and steep. The fifth step is loose and wobbly when you stand on it. All the other stairs creak and groan. My whole house creaks and groans. It's a big old house. It's kind of falling apart. Mom and Dad don't really have the money to repair it. Trina, hurry, my brother, Dan whispered. His words echoed in the steep attic stairs. Dad is 10, and he is always in a hurry. He has a short and very skinny. I think he looks like a mouse. He has short brown hair, dark eyes, and a pointy little chin, and he's always scurrying around like a mouse, searching for a place to hide. Something to call him Mouse, you know, like a nickname. Dan hates it, so I only call him Mouse when I want to make him mad. Dan and I don't look at all like brother and sister. I'm tall and I have curly red hair and green eyes. I'm a little chubby, but Mom says not to worry about it. I'll probably slim down by the time I'm 13 next August. Anyway, no one would ever call me Mouse. For one thing, I'm never braver than Dan. You have to be brave to go up an attic, not because of the creaking stairs or the way the wind whistles through the attic windows and makes panel rattles, not because of the dim light up there or shadows or the low creaking covered with cracks. You have to be brave because of the eyes, the dozens of eyes that stare at you through the darkness. The eyes that never blink, the eyes that stare with such eerie, heavy silence. Dad reached static ahead of me. I heard him take a few steps over squeaking the wooden floorboards. Then I heard him stop. I knew why he stopped. He was staring back at the eyes of the grinning faces. I kept creeped behind, moving on my tiptoes. He leaned over my face, too close to her, and I shouted, "Boo!" He didn't jump. "Trina, you're about as funny as a wet sponge," he said. He shook me away. "I think wet sponges are funny," I replied. I admitted I'd like to annoy him. Give me a break," Dad muttered. I grabbed his arm. "Okay, pretend to break in two." I know it's dumb, but that's the way my brother and I kid around all the time. Dad says we didn't get our sense of humor from him, but I think we probably did. Dad owns a little camera store now, but before that he was a ventriloquist. You know, he did a comedian act with dummy Dana Odell and Wilbert. That was the name of the act. Wilbert was the dummy in the case you didn't guess. Danny Odell is my dad. My brother is Dan Jr., but he hates the word Jr., so no one ever calls him that. Excuse me when I want to make him really mad. "Someone left the attic light on," Dan said, pointing to the ceiling light, the only light in the whole attic. Our attic is one big room. There are windows at both sides, but they are both caked with dust. As not much light gets through, Dan and I made our way across the room. The dummies all stared at us, their eyes big and blank. Most of them had wide grins on their wooden faces. Some of their mouths hung on, some of their heads tipped down so they couldn't see their faces. Wilbur, Dad's first dummy, the original Wilbur, was perched on an old armchair. His hands were draped over the chair arms. His head tilted against the chair. Dan laughed. "Wilbur looks like Dad taking a nap." I laughed too. With his short brown hair, his black eyeglasses, and his goofy grin, Wilbur looked a lot like Dad. The old dummy's black and yellow checkered spot jacket was worn and frayed, but Wilbur's face freshly painted. His black leather shoes were shiny. One hand was on the part of the thick chipped out, but Wilbur looked like great for such an old dummy. Dad keeps all the dummies in such good shape. He calls the attic his dummy museum. Spread around the room are dozens of ventriloquist dummies that he has collected. He spreads all his spare time fixing up them, painting them, giving them fresh new wigs, making new suits and pants up for them, working on their insides, making sure their eyes and mouths move correctly. These days doesn't get to use his ventriloquist skills very often. Sometimes he takes one of the dummies to a kid's birthday party and put on a show. Sometimes people in town will invite him for a party to raise money for a school or a library. But most of the time the dummies just sit up and staring at each other. Some of them prop against the attic wall. Some are sprawled out in the couch. Some of them sit in folding chairs, hands across in their laps. Wilbur is the only one lucky enough to have his own armchair. When Dan and I were little, we were afraid to come up to the attic. I didn't like the way dummies stared at me. I thought their grins were evil. Dan likes to stick his hand into their backs and move their mouth. He made a dummy say frightening things. I'm gonna get you, Trina," he would make Rocky growl. Rocky is a mean-faced dummy. That sneer and Steph smiles. He's just like a tough guy in a red and white striped t-shirt and black jeans. He looks like a really evil looking. "I'm coming to get you tonight, Trina. I'm going to get you." Stop it, Dan. Stop it, Dan. Stop it," I would scream. Then I would go running downstairs and tell Mom that Dan was scaring me. I was only 8 or 9. I'm a lot older now and braver, but I still feel a little creeped out when I come up here. I know it's dumb, but sometimes imagine the dummies sitting around up here, talking to each other. Other giggles and laughing. Sometimes late at night when I'm laying in bed, the ceiling creaks over my head. Footsteps. I panicked. The dummies were walking around the attic, their heavy black shoes cloaking on the floors. I pictured them wrestling around on the old couch, or playing a wild game of catch, their old wooden hands snapping as they catch the ball. Dumb? Of course it's dumb, but I can't help it. They're supposed to be funny little guys, but they scare me. I hate the way they stare at me without blinking, and I hate the red lip grins on their frozen faces. Dan and I will come to act because Dan likes to play with them, and I like to see them how Dad fixes them up. But I don't like to come up to the attic alone. Dan picked up Miss Lucy. That's the only girl dummy in the group. She has curly blonde hair and bright blue eyes. My brother stuck his hand into the dummy's back and perched her on his knee. "Hi, Trina," he made the dummy say in a high through voice. Dan started to make her say something else. But he stopped suddenly. His mouth dropped him like a dummy's, and he pointed across the room. "Trina, look!" Dan said, "over there." I turned quickly and I saw Rocky, the mean-looking dummy, blinked his eye. I gasped. The dummy leaned forward and screamed, "Trina, I'm gonna get you," he growled. I heard Stella cry and jumped back. I swung around, ready to run to the attic steps, and I saw Dan laughing. "Hey!" I cried out angrily. "What's going on here?" I turned back to see Dad climb to his feet behind Rocky's chair. He carried Rocky in one arm. Dad's grin was wide as a dummy's. "Gotcha!" he cried in Rocky's voice. I turned angrily to my brother. Did you know, Dad? Did you know Dad was with the back here? Did you know Dad was here the whole time?" Dan nodded. "Of course! You two are both dummies," I cried. I flung my red hair with both hands and I let out a splashing inside. "That was so dumb. That was so stupid." "You fell for it," Dan shot back, grinning at Dad. "Who's the dummy here?" Dad made grumpy say. "Hey, who's pulling your strings? I'm not a dummy. Knock on wood." Dan laughed, but I shook my head. Dad refused to get up. "Hey, oh, come over here, he made Rocky say. "Scratch my back. I think I got termites." I gave in. I laughed. I heard that joke a million times, but I knew Dad wouldn't stop trying until I laughed. He's a really good ventriloquist. You can never see his lips move, but his jokes are really totally lame. I guess that's why he had given up the act and open a camera store. I don't know it for sure. It's all happened before I was born. Dad set Rocket back on his chair. The dummy sneered at us. Such a bad news dummy. Why couldn't he make the others smile like the others? Dad pushed his glasses up to his nose. "Come over here," he said. "I want to show you something." He put one hand on my shoulder and the other one on Dan's shoulder and led to the other side of the big aisle. "This is where Dad has his workshop, his workable and all his tools and the supplies for fixing up dummies." Dad reached under the work table and pulled up a large brown paper shopping bag. I could tell by the smile on his faces what we had in the bag, but I didn't say anything to ruin his surprise. Slowly, Dad reached into the shopping bag. His smile grew out as he lifted out a dummy. "Hey guys, check this out," Dad explained. "The dummy has been folded up inside the bag." Dad set it down flat on the workable, carefully unfolded the arms and legs. He looked like a sure was starting an operation. "I found this one in the trash can," he told us. "Do you believe someone would just throw it away?" He took the dummy's head back so we could see it. I fell up to Dan, workable, to get a better look. That head was split in two. The head was split in two, Dad said, placing a hand on the back of the dummy's neck. But it took 2 seconds to repair it. Just a little glue. I leaned close to the tree to check it out. Dad's new treasure. It had wavy brown hair painted on the top of its head. The face was kind of strange, but of intense. The eyes were bright blue. The shimmer sort of like real eyes. The dummy had bright red paint lips incredible to a smile, an ugly smile. I thought, kind of gross and nasty. His lower lip had a chip on the side, so that didn't quite match the other lip. The dummy wore a gray double-breasted suit with all the overcoat. The coat was strapped onto his neck. He didn't have a shirt. Instead, his wooden chest has been painted white, black with black leather shoes, were scuffed up dangling from his skinny gray pant legs. Can you guys believe someone just tossed him out in the trash? Dad replied. Isn't that great? Isn't he great? Yeah, great, I murmured. I didn't like the new dummy at all. I didn't like his face, the way his blue eyes glimmered, the crooked smile. Dad and I must felt the same. He's kind of tough looking, he said. He picked up one of the dummies' wooden hands. He picked up one of the dummies' wooden hands. It had a deep scratch all over it. The wooden hands. And a scratch over the knuckles appeared cut and bruised, as if the dummies had been in a fight. Not as tough looking as Rocky over there, Dad replied, but does he have a strange smile? He picked up a small chip in the dummy's lip. I could feel that with one glue fur. Then I gave the whole face a new paint job. What's the dummy's name? I asked. Dad struggled. Beats me, I'll call him Smiley. Smiley? I made a scared face. Dad started to reply, but the phone rang, ring 1, 2, 3. Guess your mom is still at the school meeting, Dad said. He ran to the stairs. I better answer it. Don't touch mine until I get back. He vanished downstairs. I picked up the dummy carefully in both hands. Dad did a great job, I said. He should do your head next, Dan shot back. Typically, I don't think Smiley's a good name for him, he said, slapping the dummy's hands together. Or how about Dan Jr., I suggested, or Dan the Third. He ignored me. How many dummies did Dad have now? He turned back towards the others across the attic and quickly counted them. I counted fast. This room makes 13, I said. Dan's eye went wide. Well, that's an unlucky number. Well, if we count you, it's 14, I said. Gotcha, Danny boy. Danny stuck out his tongue at me. He set the dummy's hands on his cheek. Hey, what's that? He reached into his pocket in a gray suit jacket and pulled out the folded slip of paper. Maybe that's the dummy's name on it, I said. I grabbed the paper out Dan's hands and raised it to my face. And unfolded and started to read. Well, Dan tried to grab me back, but I swung out his reach. What's the name? Didn't say, I told him. There's just these weird words. Virgin, I guess. Boo would live silently if I struggled to read them, and I read the words out loud. Curé Maru Adana Mala Merloon Curé. Dad's mouth dropped open. Huh? What's that supposed to mean? He cried. He grabbed the paper from my hand. I think you read it upside down. No way, I protested. I glanced down the dummy. The glassy blue eyes stared up at me. Then the right eye slowly closed. The dummy winked at me. Then his left hand shut up straight and slapped me in the face. It's like, don't call me Smiles. I'm fucking Slappy. And that's it. Next Friday, we'll be reading chapter 3 through 4.